Time now for Extra Points, where we talk to Sports Director Frank Cusumano about some of the hot sports topics of the day. And let's begin down in Florida and talk about the Cardinals and so far their performance in spring training.
Really good. Today they beat the Astros 9-6, and I realize that a spring training victory and $1 will buy you a Diet Coke. I know that. But it's always better for them to be pretty good. I mean, last year, like when Miles Michaelis would go 2 innings and give up 6 runs, he would say, well, I'm just working on something.
Right.
It's always good if your starting pitcher goes 3 and allows like 1 run or has 3 shutout innings. Matthew Liberatore, his second really good outing. They've had 6 starts, all 6 have been good. And today, some power. Burleson hit a home run, Pozo hit a home run, and Crooks hit a home run. The most interesting thing with the Cardinals is they got 1,000 catchers. I don't know how they're going to pare it down to 3.
And let's talk about the starting rotation, because that's still in flux, don't you think?
It is. And, you know, I think everybody thought, Palante, you're done after last season. But he's come back. He's one of the stories of camp. He's come back with a new pitch, and he's pitched well. So he's going to be battling for that 5th spot. Richard Fitz was really good yesterday.
He throws hard.
Oh, he does.
They need that.
And they haven't even thrown Dustin May yet. So I like all 6 starting pitching performances so far.
But this does not mean you think the Cardinals are going to go to the playoffs.
No, not at all. But I think they're going to be better than the 69 or 70 victories people are predicting.
All right, let's talk about the St. Louis Blues, because they get back into action after the Olympic break.
They play the Kraken tonight. And I think the most interesting story surrounding the Blues is what happens in the trade deadline 8 days from now. Because when you are 31st out of 32 teams and you have a bunch of veterans making a lot of money, who would be more apt to sell players at the deadline? And those players could be Justin Falk, could be Braden Shen, maybe even Jordan Binnington. I mean, they have
maybe Robert Thomas, right?
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one because the other 3 are towards the sunset of their careers. Thomas is in his prime, but you may be able to get more for Thomas.
So there's a chance, you think, that like the Cardinals, like City SC, the Blues will be in a rebuilding year at the end of this year and I guess going into next year.
The one thing you don't want to do in sports is be in the middle. You want to be on top with a realistic chance of winning, or at the bottom where you're starting over. You don't want to be in the middle. And right now the Blues are actually 31st out of 32 teams.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Billikens and a very tough loss at Dayton, a game you told us on this segment you thought they were going to win.
Yeah, that was...
What does this mean for them and their chances in the NCAA tournament?
Well, Mike, I don't think if they lose that final game of the season to George Mason and then do not win the conference tournament, Selection Sunday could get a little hairy. Now, I do think they're 25-3. If they were to beat Duquesne on Saturday, which they will, Loyola at home, which they will, and then beat George Mason, and they're 28-3 going in, I don't think they have to win the conference tournament. But let me just say this. If you're a mid-major, you don't want to rely on that committee to help you out on Selection Sunday, because they have cheated a lot of mid-majors.
Not if you're in the Atlantic 10. All right. Thanks, Frank. That's Extra Points.